You and this beat, dog. I swear, we were just talking about how we're all like, fucking
Not
February.
softcore porn.
Yeah, this beat is hot, bro. This beat is hot, bro. This beat is hot. See, this beat is hot and everything. You not, don't get mad. You might get popped. Oh, Superman. I might, whoa. All right. Hey, look, you know what the fact of the matter is, guys, it's Saturday. You know what it is, man. I ain't even gonna sit there and waste your time. It's time to get it in and tell a friend. And believe it or not, today is a special day. You know what today is? We've been doing this a long time. How long would you say? Well, let's see.
I love the new blurred order. You should too.
Whoa.
Let me get all this 10p Wayne. All the niggas rapping about the same old thing. I've been coming through with the same old game. Ain't shit changed except 9 got a name. Got it out the mud, but we got no stains. Cold ass ninja with a gold ass chain. The girl call me daddy, not my government name. Money on my mind, got them bands on my brain. Let me tell y'all about a nigga I know. The nigga so clean, so y'all hoes. Like skinny bitches, like big bitches too.
Going on, what it do, people out there in blurred world? How y'all doing today? As you already know, it's time to kick off some of this good old-fashioned blurred stuff. It's a whole lot going on right now in the world, man, as it pertains to nerdy, blurdy information, and we are here to bring it to you on our 100th episode. Can you believe we've been doing this over almost 2 years? Almost 2 years now. Where is our contract, NBC? Tighten up, Netflix. Y'all missing out on us, man. Sirius XM, we coming for you, and I'm coming for you too, Charlemagne Black Effect. As always, we are joined by our esteemed panelists and blurred members, and we want to talk about some of these things. We got our homie, the First Lady Yaz, here to represent. We've got Tyrone here. We've got Tyleem here. We've got Nolly here. And we even got Steph. She's setting up. She ready. She out there. You know what I'm saying? She getting it. And yeah, man, we out here, man. It is what it is, man. 100 episodes in, man. We only took like 2 or 3 weeks off since we even started this thing, man. And we are now officially, man, past the 100 marker. Now, normally I would take a lot of time to celebrate this and sit and ask everybody how you feel, blah, all this other stuff. But I'm gonna keep it real. We ain't even got time for that because there are some very, 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 very troubling, or I don't want to say there's some very, very interesting things brewing in the world. And the first thing we got to definitely talk about is some of the headlines. Obviously, some of y'all may have already heard that our homegirl, Letitia Wright, is out there getting she out there getting a little bit of play from the homie Kalani. I don't know if y'all saw this or not, but I want to know what y'all feel about Shuri getting a little action over here. You know what I'm saying? Getting a little rubber dub, you know what I'm saying? A little up and who is this white man? I just tried to YouTube, but look, okay, here it is. There she go. All right, bam. And you can barely see it, but if you look closely, you can see the buttocks of one Kehlani grinding profusely upon one Letitia Wright right there in the corner. I don't know if I wish I had my
is this the same cameraman who got the Bigfoot footage and the monster footage? Because this
every alien.
This needed some. We need to enhance. Can somebody hit the enhance button?
On a Nokia phone before video was all that. All right, so yeah, we got a little action here, you know what I'm saying? Doing a little thing. Ow, pow, pow, pow. Now there goes the white man again. Okay, look, I don't know you, homeboy. See how the oppression just everywhere you go, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know if this is a big deal or not. Steph, you have an opinion on this?
No, she's grown. If it was her, I mean, I guess. Okay, the only thing that's noteworthy about this is the fact that it's 2 celebrities. The fact that it's a lady is nobody's business and not noteworthy. Right. But the fact that it's Kehlani is interesting.
Yeah. Well, I think it's. I mean, for me, Nolly, it's kind of interesting because before this, we didn't know. We had no idea. I mean, I wasn't very, other than her not wanting to get vaccinated, I didn't know anything about Letitia Wright and her personal life. And now it seems like we have a little bit of a peer into it. At least we know that she likes to be grinded upon. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know how her dancing skills is, but what say you about this budding relationship? Do you think this is much to do about nothing, or you think they may be an item?
don't know. Kaylani, it's hard to tell with her. I love her, by the way. But it's hard to tell with her. And then with Letitia, right? When she did the whole vaccination thing, she's always been like super hyper Christian.
Oh, yeah.
So when this happened, jaw was on the floor. I was like, excuse me?
Oh, okay.
Are we loosening up? What's happening here?
Wow.
I mean, but if they do, it's fine. I'm just trying to be like them, right, Steph?
I knew that was coming. All right, we're here for it. We're here for it. I don't know if y'all got opinions on this. Let me know. I just thought it was refreshing to see Letitia smiling, having a good time. I'm kind of happy for the two of them. Me personally, I don't think this is much to do about nothing. I think this is just two people having a good time in the club and getting caught on camera. I mean, look, people grind on each other all the time, bro. Ain't no big deal. You know what I'm saying? I mean, look, it's just what it is. Ty, the ties. If y'all ain't got nothing to add,
I'm with you. It's a good time. Yeah, if we're in the club hanging out, I mean, if all 6 of us in the club hanging out, 4 of y'all might get grinded on. I'm just saying. So
I gotta say,
I'm not saying which 4. It depends on what I've been drinking, stuff like that. So it just sometimes it be like that.
That's actually how me and Tyrone met. We had a show together. There was no music, and he just came up and started grinding on me, and I was like, I don't get down like that, but I'm all about equality. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I went back and I was like, nice to meet you, and he was like, nice to meet you.
Oh my God, bro.
And you now know that I'm wearing shorts. Ain't that a bit? Okay, right. So yeah, man, that was interesting. I thought, but outside of that, man, there's been some real stuff happening out there. I really want to talk about this shakeup with this dude, The Rock, and this stuff that's going on with DC and with Wonder Woman and with James Gunn, evidently, and Peter Safran. Am I saying it wrong? Safran. It seems like they are finally taking the helm of DC, making it what I think Marvel fans want to see. I think Marvel fans want to see kind of like a balance of the two parties, if you will, where they're both formidable. And James Gunn wants to do that. But in order to do so, he can't have bullshit projects like Wonder Woman 3, which evidently was brought to him. And they were like, nah, we ain't feeling this script, homie. So there's a lot to discuss with this. Let me just kind of give the lay of the land, and y'all tell me what y'all opinions are and tell me what you think is going to happen as a result. So evidently, the two new kings of DC, Peter and James, are trying to kind of reshape the model that DC's been using and kind of give it more of a Marvel-esque type model. You know what I'm saying? They want it to be a little more in sync with each other, the movies, that is, at least the DCU, which sounds like Peter Gunn is trying to change it from, he has changed it from the DC Entertainment Universe to the DC Universe. So that's number one. And James Gunn has some breathing room to do this because he's had all of his projects for DC have been fairly successful. So he's got something to talk about when it comes to this. But here's where it gets weird. That lady that I hate to call her that lady, but the young woman who did produce, who directed the Wonder Woman movie, she submitted a plot. She submitted a script for Wonder Woman 3, and it was rejected. And then the headline came out that Wonder Woman was not actually going to get its third installment. And then it started to be, it started to hit the airwaves that Man of Steel also may not get a second installment. And then on top of that, The Rock is out here basically saying, listen, bro, Black Adam was much better than it's being portrayed to be. Now, I don't know if y'all knew this, but Black Adam, they're claiming that it's not really turning a profit. They're getting back just as much as they spent on it. I mean, I don't know if that includes all of the worldwide sales. According to The Rock, he doesn't really like that being out there. He's kind of getting real Trumpish with it. Like, he doesn't want any bad news out there about his brand. So the Rock is out there like, nah, y'all, you're fake news, bro. That's not what really happened. That's not how it goes down. And so he goes on his Twitter, and basically says, look, despite what you're hearing, here's the truth. And I already checked this. And here's what he says. I waited to confirm with financiers before I shared this excellent Black Adam news. Our film will profit between 52 million and 72 million. Fact. It's almost 400 million worldwide. We are building our new franchise step by step. First, Captain America did 370 for the DC future. Now, Tyrone, this came out, and then some of his fans were like, well, why do you need to confirm with the financiers whether the movie was profitable? Like, that's not normally, something that you have to confirm. You would know that outright. Also, why are you comparing this to a movie that's 10 years old? You know what I'm saying? That shouldn't be the case. Tyrone, is The Rock tripping? Is he delusional, or is he just trying to save his franchise? And did he also botch this tremendously by trying to come out and defend something and kind of confusing the fans?
I think it's one of those situations of like when you, when every little thing gets at you, like maybe you have some insecurity around it. You know what I mean? Like maybe he's not as, maybe he's not feeling as good about Black Adam as he wants us to think he is. Because if you got to defend every little thing somebody says about it, like, maybe that's not a good look for you. And yeah, it's putting your books out there and stuff like that. I mean, it's weird. Just move on. Just be like, hey, made this big movie, made a bunch of money, and we'll see you next time. And he's probably taking the James Gunn news all hard and stuff because he thought he was about to be the president of DC and everything. So, I understand.
Yes, that's what I was getting at. Ty, what do you think The Rock is trying to do here? What's going on?
I mean, it really seems like he's hoping for a life vest. You know what I'm saying? He's like, somebody throw me a life vest. I'm in danger. The Rock can't see past The Rock. You know what I'm saying? Right. He can't see that this wasn't what they expected it to be. You know what I mean? And it's like when you've gone as hard as he's gone, which how I felt, because I felt like he did a lot of dumb stuff. Like he actually cut the legs out from under Black Adam before Black Adam even had a chance. The whole Cavill reveal that he did before the movie dropped, like nobody does that, bro. Like that's the stupidest thing you could have done, was reveal that Henry Cavill's back in the DC prior to it coming on screen. That would have been a huge reactionary moment for most people in the movie theater had you not done that. But because you did that, when it happened, I was already like, oh, here comes Superman.
Right.
like when that part came, I was like, oh, here Superman's coming. You know, and that kind of literally took all of the air out of this movie, because that moment in itself could have been enough for well, I don't know if it would have been enough still. I mean, the movie wasn't a 10 out of 10, but it was decent. But yeah, he's the blame for this, and it's sad when you see a man not willing to accept responsibility for his own actions and start, kind of placing blame or acting like everybody's wrong but him. No, we're massively successful. Hold on a second, let me go ask Ted. Ted, are we massively successful? Oh, we're not. We're just 72 million. That's it. That's all we made. Hold on a second, Scott. We were massively successful, right? No, we weren't. 72 million. Okay. Janine. The movie, the first hour, the movie was really successful, right? It wasn't. It just normal.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the point's taken, man. I mean, I think the problem with The Rock is that he comes into the industry established. He's not like all the other actors that come into the industry that are trying to kind of use this to boost their fame. I mean, yeah, he's using it to boost and maintain it, but he in itself is a larger than life entity. So he brings that swag to the set. And that's one of the same things, if I'm not mistaken, that caused him and his old buddy, Vin Diesel, to kind of fall out. If I'm not mistaken, they was tripping on the Fast and Furious movie. And he was, and then you notice that after his first movie, bam, there's a sequel, Calvin and Hobbes or whatever it was. I know it wasn't Calvin Hobbes. But it seems to be a theme with this dude, man. And Nolly, please, what's up, Nolly? I was just about to reference the article that you sent, but what's your input?
Need it.
Oh, they trying to silence the queen.
How dare they? It's because I'm light skinned. I know it. To break even, Black Adam needed to make $600 million to just break even, not even profit, break even.
Oh wow! See, I look. I didn't even know it. And so does that just cuts into the whole tweet, because it says that it's almost at 400 million, which means it's at less than 400 million.
He real generous too, because it's at 387 million. So he just added numbers at this point. He said, "We almost there, sir. You a pebbles thrown away. You got some time." But right now, as of 5 days ago, it stands to lose between $50 and $100 million in negative.
I mean, most people round up to the nearest 400 million. Anyway,
all the time.
we ain't gonna blame them for that. But I mean, there are some folks out there that are basically like, yo, look, The Rock may have single-handedly been the reason why this industry, why DC is taking these steps. Here's an article that Nolly shared with us this week that kind of goes into some of the reasons why folks are saying, look, The Rock may be at fault for this. I'm not going to read the whole article, but here's just a few things that were highlighted. 5, it says he didn't and still doesn't respect the hierarchy of power, which sounds about right. All right. I mean, they asked that he respects the protocol, but instead of them requesting Henry Cavill through all of the proper channels, he called Henry Cavill himself directly, if I'm not mistaken, or something like that, and initiated it, basically undercutting the authority of the model that they're supposed to work with, which kind of takes the middleman away, and it kind of shakes them up. It makes them uneasy. The next thing it says on here, yes, Tyrone.
I know when you've wrapped up these lists, I have a little defense of The Rock, which I don't do often, but yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. Well, let's get through these real quick then. The next one, it says Superman's return was for his benefit, not for the fans. And I think that's what Ty was basically saying. Like, look, you didn't want Superman in here because you wanted to give the fans Superman. You wanted to make the Black Adam better by having Superman in it. And that was a personal decision. He's already at war with DC Studios. You know what I'm saying? It says, with Johnson clearly willing and able to use his massive social media following to fool fans into falling for his act. He used to be a pro wrestler, so that's nothing new. This is dangerous to DC Studios. Basically, by telling his fans that the movie is successful, even though it wasn't, he's confusing them. And he's making them into like a MAGA-like crowd where they're denying truths. All right, I know you're going to defend this and all that, but hey, it is what it is, Tyrone. I'm just saying. I'm just saying what it's saying. Couple more things here, then we'll move on. He's feeding the press a false narrative. I think that kind of runs into what it was, the last one. And Black Adam was everything that's wrong with the DCEU. Now, I don't know if this is necessarily the case, but I do want to read this one right here. Johnson, all right, spent years hyping up Black Adam, promising to change the hierarchy of power in the DCEU and declaring it a fresh start for the franchise. This was to be the opening chapter in a new era of storytelling. Instead, it was no better than Suicide Squad and Justice League with a crappy slow-mo, bad VFX, and a drab story, ensuring it fits right in with those flops. Tyrone.
Yeah, that last paragraph actually is, so I don't feel like The Rock has killed the DCEU or done anything. It was already garbage. So like to act like he's coming in here just like messing up an entire like beautiful kingdom or something like that. And nah, that shit was garbage before. And that was the reason somebody like The Rock could come in there and just do whatever, because you didn't have anything good already going. So I don't want to give The Rock that much power and be like, oh yeah, he's the reason. And Black Adam is the reason that that the DCU is what it is. Nah, that shit was garbage and has been garbage for a while. So, you know, this
what a defense.
No, well, it's defense of The Rock, because I mean, you know, as much as I wasn't a huge fan of Black Adam, but it wasn't by far it wasn't the worst DC has to offer. Right. You know, and I wouldn't be surprised if Zack Snyder wrote that article himself, because you know, Zack Snyder, you know, he had his ideas of what he wanted it to be, and it wasn't that. And a lot of DC fans are people who like wish that Zack Snyder was running the show and continues to run the show. So yeah, I feel like maybe this going too hard on Rock. He was over here just trying to do his thing, but yeah, it's not like he didn't mess up anything that wasn't already messed up.
Okay. I think that that's fair. I think that unfortunately, though, and I don't agree wholeheartedly with the article. The article clearly has issues with The Rock, but I think that what they're basically saying is like there was an upward trajectory with James Gunn at the helm, and this did not fall into that category. Like this unfortunately was a lateral move. You know, it wasn't anything that pushed the yards down the field, pushed the ball down the field. I mean, it kind of was, just in that it didn't suck. I mean, that's 5 sucks. All right. I don't even think it sucked. I think it was good. It just wasn't great. So I don't know. Maybe he tarnished it, but I just think that what he's doing now off screen is kind of, but there's a shakeup right now. And Ty, I remember you said something. And first of all, yes, they're trying to make a DCU instead of a DCEU. You know what I'm saying? And James Gunn is looking to basically start to give Marvel a run for their money. Keep in mind, he has the Marvel game book. He has the playbook. Like, he's worked on multiple Marvel projects, and he's one of the few crossover directors. Do you think he's going about this the right way by potentially canceling Wonder Woman 3? And by the way, that's not confirmed. Even Peter Gunn himself said that some of the stuff that was said was true. Not all of it's true. But is that the right thing to do? Do you start over fresh? Do you not go forward with what DC already has? Or do you say, hey, we're just going to deal with whatever it is we get. What's your feelings?
I think they should just start over fresh, basically like what they're doing with Marvel on, what I'm saying, like with X-Men and everything like that, just because no offense to the Zack Snyder movie, but it had to be made twice. And it was 2 extra hours, and it was basically the first movie, just some extra shit added. And so I mean, it's not that like you said, it's not all of it's bad, but all of it's not good either. So that's also a problem. You know what I'm saying? And if you're going to bring in with James Gunn, I mean, we've seen already what he's done with Peacemaker. We loved that show.
Loved it.
You know what I mean? That was a fire show, start to finish. It didn't matter who you are, you loved that show. You know what I mean? Just for just different things, So I don't know. I feel yes, James Gunn has the playbook on Marvel, but you have to also remember he signed contracts too. So he's also got to remember, he can be sued for certain shit too. You know what I mean? Like doing it for DC. So, I mean, I think he's going to play as much as he can, you know what I'm saying? As far as he can to push that limit. But you also have to remember, he did sign, he worked for Marvel for a while. He did sign contracts. So no matter what, he still has to they can still bring those contracts up and be like, hey, you're not doing, you know what I'm saying? You're in breach of contract right now. We can sue you basically. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see where it's going to go from here. But I think James Gunn is the person to bring, the DCU, I guess, back into the light, and for it actually be in competition with Marvel. Because, basically they're not in competition. It's, it's Marvel all day, and DC, we're still trying to get there. So I don't know. It's a work in progress. I mean, I'm here for it. I didn't think Black Adam was such a bad movie. I definitely thought there could have been more growth and just more I don't know, just better scenes, I guess you could say, from that movie. I really wish we could have seen what they cut, because that could have made a difference onto how we all felt about certain images and just things in the movie. So I don't know. I just feel like they got a lot of work to do, and I'm excited to see what's coming next. So
yeah. I don't think that. I honestly think that the movie, the Black Adam movie is best when watched on mute, because it's visually stunning. It's dope, but it's the story. It's the story that pisses me off. The little boy. We don't even get into all that. You know what I'm saying? So that's my feelings. I think James Gunn has a vision. I think that's what they lacked before, was a uniform vision for the franchise that is all run succinct with each other. And I think Peter Safran and James Gunn are going to work together to be the Kevin Feige of the DC universe. In order to do so, they got to crack some eggs, man. You can't make an omelet without cracking eggs. What's up, Ty?
I'm very cautious in this regard when it comes to what James Gunn and Peter Safran have in front of them, right? Only because James Gunn is still, you know how you're in a relationship with somebody and then y'all break up and then you go into the next relationship and then you still like project what your ex did onto your new chick, like you know, so
Yeah.
your new man, or your new man. I feel like James Gunn hasn't broken up with the MCU, and he's like they broke up with me, but I'm still in love with them. So DC,
Well, hold on. Let me challenge you. Did they break up with him? They kind of did. Actually, you're right. You're actually right.
Yeah,
They
and
did.
in this scenario, all I'm basically saying is what I'm starting to see, and I don't know how DC fans are gonna feel about this because for the simple fact, DC and the MCU are two different types of entities. They make different types of movies. But if your whole thing is that I'm just gonna come over here and make an MCU, I don't want an MCU. I want good quality that like the MCU if we're gonna get that. But I still want the essence of what DC is like that. And so if they have a way to meld those two together, and you can do that, cool. But I'm very cautious when you still are married to a ex and you're starting a new relationship. You know what I mean? That to me, it never seems like it's going to end well. And that's all I'm saying. Like I I know people are like, in Gun We Trust. Cool. I just hope it doesn't turn into that.
All right. Well, evidently, there's been a response. I don't know, to all of these things that are happening along with James Gunn, but I disagree with you a little bit. I do want a DCU to equal or be greater than an MCU. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, in order for that, you have to have good content. But yeah, I don't understand why they made it a DCEU in the first place. Like, what they had to throw that E in there for? They just wanted to feel special. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, they just didn't want to. They didn't want to be the MC.
They didn't
want to be the. They didn't want to be the MCU. This is like it's like we talked about this all the time. Like they've always, we know that they steal from each other. It's like a brother that's coming over to you. It's like you inviting your brother to your crib, and then when he leaves, you got clothes missing, and you know he took them. You know he took them, motherfuckers. But when you ask him, you like, bro, did you take my shirt? What shirt?
Yeah,
but then
right.
you see him with the shirt on in a picture later on, just vibing, like, yeah, I'm chilling, drip on, you know what I'm saying, drip on smash. You like, nigga, that's my shirt. Like, you know what I mean? But this is what they've been doing back and forth. And so DC will try to distance themselves from Marvel. Marvel has distanced themselves from DC. But it's like this DCU thing is like, it's like, all right, fuck it. We're just gonna go all in. We're gonna try to emulate what Marvel does to the T and see if it works over here. And it may. I just hope they don't lose the identity of DC, where we just get everything just becomes quirky. I mean, I know that Peacemaker was graphic in scenes and everything like that, so he's not afraid to tap into that part. But right. I just don't want everything to, what I'm saying, to just be, jokey all the time. Like, let's get some serious stuff in there.
No offense to Jason Momoa, but I hope we get a better Aquaman.
Oh
yeah, it's time.
I hate to say it like that. Like, I mean, he's pretty to look at, but as for the the music along with everything he says and does, like, it's just like, what the fuck, dude? You know what I mean? It's kind of it's a little ridiculous. And then, like, with the hair flipping and the shirt coming off, and yeah, it's a little much. So yeah, I hope they do a better job of recasting.
You mean you don't like for all your Aquaman to sound like this? And you don't want him to come out and be Aquaman and take his shirt off and be around everybody, and for him to be 2 feet taller than his father and his mother, and you don't want anything.
I just don't know. It needs to be redone. No offense, like I said, no offense to Jason Momoa. I love him and like other things, you know, like C and just anything else but Aquaman. You know what I mean? But yeah, is no.
What time I want to shout out my homie Kermit in the comics, hilarious comic and video maker and kung fu aficionado. I know it's not kung fu, my bad. Don't kick my ass. But yeah, he actually did bring up a good point because it has been floated that there may be a swap of roles for Jason Momoa. He may end up being put into the Lobo position, which I know we have already assigned that position to Russo. Like that's our boy.
Yeah. Russo needs to protest for that. Okay, we need to like get the fans to get on this shit because Russo needs to be Lobo. Like no lie.
Yeah, I know. Kermit's asking for Carl Urban, but they want Jason Momoa. It's already been floated in the internet. Now I could see Carl Urban as a Lobo, but frankly, I don't think that Carl Urban should take that role. And we're going to get into some more Carl Urban as we do have the Gen V trailer. We're going to drop that in a few minutes here in a second, as well as a couple of things. What's up, Ty?
So with the Carl Urban,
he's too old, Kermit.
Yeah, that's what like that's but like that's, I mean, you making it like it's funny, but it's the point that I was about to make. Like if the whole point of resetting everything is to reset everything, you're going with younger characters. You're not going to go with older characters. The whole reason that you would even contemplate getting rid of a case. Well, I don't even know if that's even the case. Like again, this article.
You said you're too old.
Yeah.
Which is how you said it. That's why I was laughing, Ty. He's too old, Kermit.
hey, I ain't mad at him. He might be right. I'm too old to be anybody on there right now. But look, but all I'm saying is at this point that like if he's trying to mimic everything that the MCU is doing, the MCU is in the middle of a reset as well. So like he's just like, all right, well, I'm gonna follow the script. Like they're resetting, they're starting anew, they're bringing new characters to the forefront. Why not do the same over here? I don't know if I would have dropped or stopped the Man of Steel 2 thing. I think the Man of Steel 2 had people were calling for this and like have been calling for this for a very, very long time. And I don't know if it was a bad script or whatever the case may be, but yo, man, like there's just a lot of content that DC has, and I just hope they utilize it well.
Yeah. Go ahead. Yes.
I hope we get like a Static Shock,
Yes.
Like, there's so many like just different characters in DC that they could literally just bring to light. And yeah, there's so fucking many. They need to get their shit together.
So before we move on, because there's so many other topics, and this just to kind of just highlight a few. I want to like some of the topics we're going to talk about today. Again, we're going to talk about Tim Burton and whether or not he's one of these people who's outright racist or doesn't realize he's racist or just doesn't realize black people can be lead characters. We want to talk about the fact that the Addams Family has switched the images up, and they basically, and I don't know, did they? Because his name was Gomez, and did we just neglect the fact that he was Latino the whole time? I don't know. I want to talk about the Game Awards and the new Jedi Survivor trailer that dropped, and some of the other cool stuff that Nali and I observed from yesterday's Game Award, 2 days ago, which happened on my birthday, the Game Awards, and shouting out what happened with the winners of the awards, some of which include the voice actors for God of War, and also there's a few new things coming out. If you all already heard, Doom Patrol dropped last week. The Agatha just got a new director. We actually may see another version of Black Panther on screen because the fans are asking for it. But before we get into all that, I just want to know, like, what is our DC wish list, if any? If now that we got Peter Gunn's ear, what is it that we want to demand of him? If we had some influence, what would we?
I like that we finally made it to Peter Guns, like Peter Guns, G-U-N-Z, famous rapper. We finally made it. I was wondering if we were going to get there, and we finally got there. Thank you,
Peter Guns.
Yeah, we were getting close the whole time. I was like, yes.
Yo, hey, Corey Guns, Peter Guns, they're my people, man. I love the 6 for 7. But yeah, like what do y'all have a DC wish list? I ain't gonna call on nobody in particular. Just raise your hand, let me know. I'll tell you right now. I'm on the line with Yaz. But if I had a DC wish list, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm gonna go directly to John Stewart of the Green Lantern Corps. I think John Stewart would be a great way, especially if we get a young, developing character as John Stewart. He's one of the few redeemable characters in the DC universe. And along with that, you can still have Hal. You know what I'm saying? You can still have Hal, the original Green Lantern, but just not the forefront. I'd like to see Static Shock, and I'd like to see them try. My wish list is for them to try to integrate some of their successful TV shows to the big screen as well, such as everybody, and nobody's going to disagree with me on this. Everybody, hands down, has been beckoning. Anybody who's a fan of the comics has been beckoning for Grant Gustin to be put in the movie as Flash. We love him on screen. You know, he's one of the few characters in the CW universe that were like, hell yeah, I fucks with this dude. Like, he's good. Sure. We can have him. We don't need Ezra.
And he looks good when he runs.
Yeah, he actually is going fast. Believe it or not. You know, like,
thank you. I can't watch it. Oh my god. He's like, how do you even
remember when he's trying to go so slow and Superman was like and then he looked up and he was like oh shit, I got slow Flash. Like, I don't even make those cocaine Flash. I got to ban Kermit, yo. But yeah, man. So that's my wish list. Anybody else got anything else, man? I would like to see. Maybe they convince them to give us a season 2 of Watchmen, only if it's the original cast of writers and directors. I'd love to see more Peacemaker type projects. I think Ty wants to see a Weasel movie.
Yes, I would love. Hey, give me the Weasel movie. I don't know what they're waiting for. Hollywood, stop playing. The Weasel is that dude. Yo, the dude ate kids, man. He ate kids. Weasel is the worst villain of all time. He eats children. Like, come on, you show me anybody worse than that. But I want to see a Dr. Fate. I definitely want to see a Dr. Fate.
Okay. Oh yeah.
All right. I can see Dr. Fate. Yeah, I mean, even though he's kind of bootleg Dr. Strange, in my opinion, I still mess with Dr. Fate. I think that Pierce did his thing. You know what I'm saying? I think we're talking about the same person. Who knows? But yeah, either way, man. Go ahead.
I want to see a Hercules, like a good live action Hercules movie.
Okay.
And you know who I want to like play Hercules? I want Coach Roy from Ted Lasso to play Hercules.
Ooh.
Yes, he would fucking kill that shit, bro. Tell me
what? You might be right. You might
perfect
be right.
age. Just gotta get him a little bit more build. He'd be like, fucking killing that shit.
I don't know. I don't know. Haven't we seen enough Hercules movies? Like, did you know The Rock was Hercules too, right?
It's been over a decade since we've had a Hercules movie.
Yeah, we'll never see enough Hercules. Listen,
I
grew up on the back in the day Lou Ferrigno Hercules movies. If you want to talk about like how much I love Hercules, yeah. Give me another Hercules. Same. Give me a good one. Give me a good one though.
Listen, for my birthday,
I'm always
that dude. Happy birthday! That dude is already Hercules and was in Thor: Love and Thunder. So congratulations, you got it. They did it.
He was.
Yeah, that dude's Hercules.
Look at Tyrone's face.
Yeah, he made it. You did it, yes. Congratulations. No, he was. Yeah, that's the dude that played Hercules in Thor: Love and Thunder.
Is that true?
Who is
that? Why? Maybe that's why Yaz requested it, because
did I not get enough screen time or something? Because I feel like I need to go back.
I mean, he was in the post credit scene, but he was Hercules and is credited as such and expects to be Hercules moving forward.
But I thought she was talking about DC because DC.
Oh, does DC also have a Hercules? Oh,
yes.
Oh, well, I don't think he's going to be Hercules in both.
DC works with Zeus, right? Like Zeus
Right,
was the one.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. Zeus would be in there.
They also have a Hercules.
Yeah, there'd be Hades would be in there. Like all, yeah.
Oh yeah, I doubt you're going to get your guy in Marvel, but not in DC. I doubt that.
That's fine. Marvel's better anyway.
All right, another thing on the DC wish list, and Ty, I'm gonna put you on blast here, and I think we should demand that they give us more of Themyscira, that they delve into the diversity of the Amazonians, and give us. Please forgive me for not knowing her name off rip, but what's the badass black Amazonian that we want a movie? I'm not a big DC follower, but there's this
Nubia?
badass chick. What's her name?
Is it Nubia or something like
Nubia.
Yeah.
Yes, Nubia from Themyscira. There have been some talks about getting her some screen time too. So James Gunn, get to work on these things, man, and you ain't got to worry about the New Blood Order pulling up on you, homeboy. You know what I'm saying? Because we ready, man. I got my my spear and lightsaber, and we'll find you. But yeah, man, those are some things that I would like to see. Anybody else got anything else? Or we'll move right on.
Don't be surprised if everybody that's leaving the Guardians of the Galaxy comes over to DC.
Oh my God.
Like we know we not getting my big boy back. We not getting Drax back. We not getting Gamora back. It's like they might all pull up to DC looking for jobs. Like
no, just remember though, like Disney likes to reuse their people. So for instance, look at the red-headed girl that was in Star Wars, it was what the fuck movie was that? It was one of the movies. She was like one of the bad guys. Now she's in Willow. She was in fucking.
Hold up! You talking about the girl that was in Captain America?
Yes, she was in Captain the Falcon, and she was the bad girl, like Carly Morgenthau. Carly Morgenthau. Yeah, she was the bad, like the villain in Captain.
Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah, Falcon and Winter Soldier. So you know what I'm saying? Like they constantly reshuffle their people. So, and I mean Gamora. Like let's be serious. Avatar 2 has been coming out and her ass has been busy with that. So that's why they really killed Gamora off, because like she didn't have time to do both, dog. You know what I'm saying?
They've been making Avatar for 40 years, man. That's not taking up her time. That movie probably been cut, man. I don't know. It's just been on the chopping block. And I don't know, man. I still think that Gamora is going to play a pivotal role. But I think in this next movie we're going to see Gamora's role shift to her sister. And then we're going to kind of, as they already kind of alluded to in the Christmas special. So who knows, man? But either way, I think that this is good. All of this is good. That James Gunn and Peter Safran, or Peter Guns, as I like to call them, are actually they're giving us something to root for with DC. You know, that's all we really wanted, was good movies all around. As much as we love Marvel and Star Wars and all this stuff, we don't want to see a movie just used to get money. We want to see a good ass produced movie. I'm curious as to what all this says, but as it pertains to James Gunn's response, I don't know if y'all been watching in the background, but I've been kind of floating this response in the background as far as what he said. But we can talk about that a little later. But evidently, he's saying that everything that's being reported about all of this stuff about the possible Aquaman not necessarily being a part of of the DCU, of some of the rumors about Wonder Woman, because he didn't flat out say Wonder Woman 3 won't happen. He just said that they rejected that script. All right, about some, let's just, some of this stuff. Let me see if this makes any sense. Let me see if there's any sound to this. Let's see what's up.
DC Studios, knowing we were coming into a fractious environment, both in the stories being told and in the audience itself. And there would be an unavoidable transitional period as we moved into telling a cohesive story across film, TV, animation, and gaming. But in the end, the drawbacks of that transitional period were dwarfed by the creative possibilities and the opportunity to build upon what has worked in DC so far and to help rectify what has not. We know we are not going to make every single person happy every step of the way. but we can promise everything we do is done in the service of the story and in the service of the DC characters we know you cherish and we have cherished our whole lives. As for more answers about the future of the DCU, I will sadly have to ask you to wait. We are giving these characters and the stories the time and attention they deserve, and we ourselves still have a lot more questions to ask and answer. So I don't know about you, but that doesn't really answer a lot, but I think it answers enough to give a rough idea as to what DC will look like.
All right. Well, listen, that sounded like a bunch of what we call psychobabble. You know what I'm saying? He's basically saying, listen, calm down, give us time, we'll deliver. But some of the shit that they've been doing has been fucking up shit. And we're going to have to revisit it. And one of the things that has been clearly stated about that fucked up formula has been Wonder Woman, which I don't know, bro. I kind of feel like Wonder Woman's getting a bad rap. When the first movie came out, and I don't want to spend too much time on this because there's too much other stuff to talk about. When the first movie came out, bro, there was nothing but Wonder Woman praise. When the first movie came out, it was wow, breakthrough. DC finally gets it. Woman actor, woman director, Israeli background. DC is bringing other, nationalities into the fold. But then after part 2, bro, they was like, yo, fuck that shit. You know what I'm saying? It was like, yo, chop, chop, chop. Get her the fuck off. I don't know, Nolly, if you saw both Wonder Womans, but do you think Wonder Woman's being treated fairly here? Like they chopping her off after one flop? I mean, we've seen DC movie after DC movie flop, but then they continue to produce them. One flop, and they like, look, we can't have you anymore.
I think it's because they spent too much money on the second one for it to flop, and then it flopped. It wasn't good.
It wasn't.
And I can see why they're hesitant to accept another script right away. Like, let's reflect. Let's see what we did wrong. Break down that formula and try again. So I can see why they're being picky with it. I don't think they'll chop her completely. I think they're going to wait till they have that one good project.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. That makes a little more sense. What now? I honestly didn't even think about that aspect, the financial aspect. Like DC is putting out these projects and they need to make
bleeding money. Like at some point, you need a good Band-Aid or some coagulants so you could stop bleeding. So I could see why they're doing.
What was that word? Who?
A coagulant.
Coagulant.
All right.
Using these words, I swear.
Yeah, I didn't. I don't think I was ready for the back vocab lesson. All right, cool. Well, let's move on, man. As much as I kind of want
for Superman, the Justice League characters, all the other.
As much as I have hope for DC, I really don't care that much. As long as I see another Peacemaker project, and if they can give us this, I'd be so happy because this is ultimately what I want. And look who they have pegged potentially, Talim, to maybe play your boy. Why you hating, yo? I don't know why you hate so much.
Because nobody potentially had him pegged. That was somebody that fans or this individual thought might be a good person to play him. But DC has not talked to this dude. Won't talk to this dude. I think he's good in his own space. I'm not gonna again. You won't hear me hate on him. I'm just always like, just calm it down because he ain't did much to really like show me like that. So I mean, just like let him keep doing his movies and playing the more dramatic roles because that's where you get the awards and the accolades and all of the recognition from the dramatic roles. So let him do that and get that under control, and then circle back.
All right, well, fair enough. We'll hopefully John David Washington fits into some superhero role. I'm rooting for this dude. I'm sorry, but maybe I'm alone in that process. Now speaking of
underdog.
Yeah, maybe. You think he should be the great American hero? Believe it or not. I would watch that, yo. All right. Well, look, man, there's something else that we really got to talk about, man. I don't know. I'm just gonna just pretend like Titans didn't just do whatever it is they just did to us this week, and we definitely want to talk about some of these video games that we saw yesterday at the Video Game Awards. By the way, shout out to Chris Judge for winning the award for voicing Kratos. Kratos, probably starting to become one of the faces of the PlayStation, honestly. And Chris Judge, who voiced the actor who voiced Kratos this time, actually won what was it, the Best Performance Award? It was the first award given out at the Gamers Awards, and it was such a pleasure to see him get on stage. I mean, he has a unique look. It's very interesting look. You know what I'm saying? But I'm happy that he was able to kind of get that. I don't know if y'all knew this or not, but hey, pop quiz. Can y'all tell me who it was that was the voice of Kratos before Chris Judge was the Kratos? Does anybody know whose voice?
Danny DeVito.
Close. Anybody? No.
TC Carson.
Yeah.
Gilbert Gottfried.
Carson, who you all may remember from Living Single. This dude was the voice of Kratos since 2005, since the game first started popping. And I mean, you could hear his voice too. Khadijah. You remember I used to talk about. But it's kind of weird how they let him go, y'all, because he wasn't actually fired or released. He just wasn't called. Kind of the same thing that happened with me and Wild 'N Out. I just didn't get the call. I was like, oh, all right, I guess I won't see y'all in Amsterdam. So yeah, go ahead, Nolly.
So some of the story behind why he didn't get to come back as Kratos was because that's when video games started moving to motion capture. Right. So where the actors had to put on the suits and stuff like that. And it was too much work to try and make his body look like Kratos's body. So they hired an actor that fitted more. It's weird.
No, I get
it. So because he didn't have enough beef.
Yeah, there wasn't enough meat. The yams wasn't yams.
He was skipping on them collard greens.
Okay, so basically, what they're saying is basically, TC wasn't he would have to voice over the actor, right? And then they'd have to have somebody else come in and do the motions for the actor. And what the company, Activision, I think it is it Activision that does God of War? They came in and it was like, look, we just want to have one person do all of that. You know what I'm saying? And so they picked Chris Judge. Here's where they went right. They were smart enough to not replace him with somebody that wasn't a person of color. You know what I'm saying? Because we seem to be absorbing. I mean, James Earl Jones, TC, what's old boy from Walking Dead? He does a lot of voices too. The dude that plays is King Ezekiel. A lot of folks. So it was smart for them to do this. And then it just felt like what I read in the article. What Cal said is basically Cal. I still call him Cal. TC says that it wasn't that he was fired, but he wished he was at least notified because he had been the voice of Kratos since its insemination. All right. Yeah. And so when he just didn't get a call and saw on the internet that, oh, snap, here's the dude who's going to be taking he was like, oh, well, damn, y'all could at least send me a thank you card or let me know. It's not like I was tripping. I mean, look, I got work too. And so that's the only downside about this is that TC wasn't given an exit that was worthy of his tenure at God of War. They should have explained it to him. Yes.
Bro, can we just go back to that picture of TC real quick? Please look at this dude's brooch on his neck. How heavy do you think this shit is on his neck right now? This is probably why I didn't get a call back, okay? Because it's the heaviest thing on his damn body. I'm sorry. I had to. Every time you went to his picture, I literally was like, "Damn, that thing looks like it's heavy as fuck." Like, he's like, look at his posture. He is holding that necklace up, dog. That's all I'm saying.
Oh man, hey, that's where he draws his superpowers, man. It's like his little, it's his lantern ring. You know what I'm saying? All right, but anyway,
TC Carson is actually the one who does all of the voices for Mace Windu in any Star Wars games.
Why isn't it Samuel L. Jackson?
Okay, I have questions.
All right, yeah, I'm sure they got
Like,
Samuel L.
how are you gonna
Jackson
do
in.
like Samuel L. Jackson's character without like him being able to say motherfucker? Like, let's be serious. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
He was busy. He was on a plane with some snakes somewhere. He wasn't able to, to get to
Bro,
it.
they could get a voice recording real quick and just keep playing that shit over. You know
You're probably
Just,
right.
like, record it. You know what I mean? Like, pick and choose which ones you want to put where you need them. What?
Were you saying something else, Nolly? Oh, okay. All right. Well, we thought that was interesting. And one time, shout out to Chris Judge for his award-winning performance in God of War. Now on to some more news. I know that Ty, one of your favorite shows, period, hands down, has been The Boys. We all love The Boys, right? And The Boys has a spinoff coming out called Gen V, which looks like it's going to be pretty promising, man. So let's just go ahead without further ado, and let's just get into the trailer, man, and see this little teaser, what it is that we can look forward to, and let's talk about it on the other end. Before we get into some of the Wanda shade that's been thrown this week, and how her her grief leads to world domination as opposed to Ramonda, who just protects her kids. Let's check this out and see what it's talking about.
Welcome to Godolphin University. It's a safe space for you to thrive.
You're not the police. You're not the president. You're not the Pope. And it's evident. So maybe you should let me be.
Where did you find that kind of courage? I'm superhuman, right? We're made of steel.
I'm gonna do my thing.
Hell yeah.
All right, man. Yo, Ty, what's your first thoughts, man?
Looks the same. Like, if I'm being honest, it looks recycled. It looks like you drop the age of the participants, but you're giving us the same thing that we saw already. And that part for me is it starts to get redundant after. It's like, all right, like you gotta. I saw the little guy, the person in the cup. We saw that last season. I just need new stuff. So I don't know what's going on. It's a lot of blood. I mean, we see a lot of blood all the time on The Boys. So I don't know. I'll watch it, of course.
Yes.
It looked nuts. I'm sorry, but like, did one girl use like her intestines to like kill somebody? Because I just saw like intestines flying and like pulling somebody at one point. Like, I don't know where exactly it was. It was like right after like this scene. Like, hold on, I'll let you know when it's coming.
Okay, yeah, let me know.
It's sort of like an Omega Red type thing, except not metal tentacles.
It's like right here, like right after this. Watch, look. You see that?
Oh!
Didn't that look like fucking intestines? Like coming, like she had the knife, you know what I mean? And then she just throwing that out there. So yo, this looks fucking crazy. You know me, I like little details. Like my brain picks out little details to like, obsess over. So I don't know. This looks pretty nuts. Obviously, I mean, it's connected to The Boys. So yeah, Bad Tie, it's gonna be fucking crazy. It's gonna have a lot of blood. It's gonna have a lot of ridiculousness. I'm just ready to see who the villain is going to be this time, because Ashley is there. Right. We know that crazy ass old man is fucking back. Whatever his name was.
Old man.
The old man. Actually, no. I'm thinking of he's from Dexter. The old man's from Dexter. That's what I'm thinking of.
Okay.
The old white man, he's like crazy in everything he plays, and he's like really, really fucking good. Like, he's a sadistic motherfucker. So I'm ready to see like what he's going to, if he's going to have superpowers or not. I don't know. This looks good. I'm kind of excited. When did they give like an actual month or just 20?
I think it's the 23rd of January. I think is what it said, or something around January.
So only have like a month. Fuck
Yeah, we
yes.
got a little time. We got a little time. Tyrone, you feel the same way as Ty here about the show?
Yeah, I mean, it looks it looks like The Boys. So I think whatever next trailer gives us an idea of like the plot and stuff like that, I think that's when it might start to get exciting, because I am curious about like what the story is. Because if it's just like the boys in college, it's like, okay, it could be fun, be a fun little sidebar. But yeah, I think with the boys and the way like villains go in the boys is that like the villain is usually like something in society, like it's corporations, because VOD is a corporation, it's that sort of thing. It's human nature. It's those kind of things. So it'll be interesting to see how they how they take that and I guess massage it into like the college years or whatever. So I think once I get an idea of the plot, I'll be a little bit more excited, because I have no reason to believe it's not going to be good based on what I've seen from the boys.
Right.
But yeah, there's not a lot of once you get past a certain point, there's not a lot of like shock value left. So nothing in here is like, oh my god, that's so crazy, because we've seen all the
Right.
craziest shit in the boys. So now I just need to see what the story's about.
Go ahead, Ty.
Quick question: isn't Gen V the drug?
Yeah.
Yeah, V is the drug. Yeah.
Yeah, Gen V. So like I'm wondering, is that like what this is all going to be about? Is like now they're like giving the drug to these
Yeah,
kids or whatever.
I think Gen V is supposed to be like a send up of Gen Z, and they're probably gonna make it. They're probably gonna wrap this show in some more youth friendly sort of vernacular and that kind of thing. So it could just be like a younger version of the boys. Without knowing much plot.
which is hella odd, right? Because this is extremely graphic. Like,
It's college. It's not like they're. Well,
I mean,
yeah, it's not middle school, but yeah, it is. I mean, but yeah. To appeal to to younger, it'll be it's interesting, and who knows, maybe that they'll attack that very idea of appeal, using crazy violence to appeal to younger generations, that kind of thing. But right now it just looks like more crazy, bloody, violent nastiness, and we'll just have another show to watch that has that.
Well, I mean, I personally am shocked by your response to oops, sorry, that wasn't supposed to be there yet. We're gonna get into some Winston Duke in a second.
You shocked at my response?
Yeah, I'm shocked. I ain't gonna lie, because you have been the most vocal about your love for the boys, and you wanted to see more of the boys and give us more of this, and they literally give you more of it, and you're saying, look, it looks the same, but it's more of what you asked for. So I mean, as of right now, we don't know the storyline, we don't know the plots, but it's still the same franchise that you literally like orgasm so much over, you know what I'm saying? And so it's just so weird for you to be like, well, it looks the same. Well, yeah, it looks the same because it's the franchise. I'm sorry, go ahead, Nolly.
It probably looks the same because it's not so much a separate show, it's more of an origin build-up show.
Right.
So we get background for some characters and then introduction for new characters coming in the next season of The Boys.
Yeah, like I thought I saw
formula.
I thought that I saw A-Train.
Yeah, A-Train was in there. Yeah, A-Train was in there.
You saw that. You saw the head of Bot too. You saw the head of Bot.
What's her name again? Yes,
the girl that pulls her hair out.
Ashley.
Ashley. So I mean, I'm shocked. I mean, this is a continuation, or at least somewhat, even if it's a prequel or a sequel, it's a continuation of the same exact type of story. It's just an embedded version of different characters in that same universe. So I don't know. I mean, why it has to be? I mean, obviously it's going to be different because it's not the same characters. I didn't even see Homelander. I didn't see some of the main villains. Which begs, and also, frankly, I'm going to say this. I'm excited about the two roles that I saw that look to be the leading roles. This young lady, Jazz Sinclair, and this young man, Chance Perdomo, both of which we saw in the Sabrina the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina the Teenage Witch, which is a crazy show to begin with. And we want to talk about the similarities between that and Willow as well, with regard to Black stereotypical villains. But outside of that, man, I'm looking forward to it just because it does extend that universe where we do have the violence, the humor, the different types of powers, and it's centered around people of color and younger generation. I don't know what more you want, bro. I mean, what else? What could they do that made you say, you know what? Yeah, this looks dope. Like, I'm honestly
they
shocked.
could have did the same thing they did last year, which is give me another season of The Boys. Like I'm just saying that. No, but what I'm saying is this feels more of a filler. Like to like, oh, I'm gonna give like and I'm just saying like it's unnecessary. Why is it unnecessary? Because we already have this show in the animated version that is coming out very soon called Invincible. You know what I'm saying? Like which there are other it was just it feels forced. That's why. Like when I look at it, I'm like, okay, we got old girl killing people with her intestines. Okay, well, last season in The Boy we had on The Boys we had a guy. Well, the season before we had a guy killing people with his penis. So like it's like there's like it's just like if you do all of this, then what is the next step to wow me? Like what is, because I feel like each season on The Boys they're trying to outdo the season before. And if you take and do a series like this and then season 3 comes and it's like you're again recycling the same stuff that I saw again, now I'm like you kind of lose me as a fan. Then I'm just like, all right.
So you think this is kind of watering? You think this is watering it down? Is what you're thinking? You think this isn't
the thing that builds up the most like desirability on a movie is that time in between waiting for that movie or that season to come out. So if you give me the full weight like you did with the last season, and then you give me the first episode and blow my mind, then I'm hooked, or I'm already kind of hooked in for the whole season. Now I'm like I'm willing to take this ride for good or bad. I'm willing to take this ride. But if you give me this one off and then it's not really hitting on stuff, and then I'm like, now you kind of kill my stuff for the next season, because that's what I'm saying. Like I was already ready for next season of The Boys from what they left me with on the last season of The Boys. So I was like, all right, well, you know what I'm saying? We go, so that's just me. That's just me. Like that's all.
This just a note to corporations. This is the downside of content culture is you have people who get wary. They start to get exhausted by things. If you just keep producing the same kind of content over and over again, content culture can do that. Will this be a show like that's just another version of something so we have more money to make and more things to watch? Maybe, who knows? But I feel like if they give us a good story, we won't be, this energy won't carry into the actual show. As long as the story's good, we're good, But if it turns out this is just another way for us to get back on Amazon Prime, then we start to get a little bit sick of it. So just as long as it's good, like we're okay. But content culture is a danger in this. Like the idea that something is popular, so we need to have a lot more of it, doesn't necessarily bring out the best in creatives.
Okay.
Thank you, Tyrone.
Fair enough. I'm glad somebody could articulate that. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad we got good Ty out here, man. But anyway,
exactly.
I for one think that Tylene's going to eat his words. I think that this show is going to give him the same vibes, but it's going to extend them. And hopefully it doesn't. Let's just hope that this is not a trend, so that after this we don't see Gen, Alpha, and you know what I'm saying, and they just keep going down this road, and that this is just an extension, which frankly we asked for. I would like to go back to some of the clips of when we were actually watching The Boys live and reviewing it every week, and Ty was literally like, yo, why don't the industry give us more of this? You know what I'm saying? And they come out and they're like, here's more of this. It's like, yo, it looks the same as the other shit. It's like, well, but I get it. I get what he's saying. It's watering it down. Yes, what's up?
To that point, also like Bad Tide, they're not going to give you everything that you are going to want inside of the preview. They're going to bait you. You know what I'm saying? So we've seen with those episodes and with the show in general, like they baited the fuck out of us. And that's why we fell in love with that shit so much, because it blew our fucking minds so much. You know what I mean? Like just all I'm saying is just, don't be so, Just
Yeah.
not excited for it. Be excited for it, because you never know. That shit's gonna fucking like. We're gonna be like, what the fuck? We thought the dick was crazy. Like, yo, did you see that? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, every fucking episode, that shit got crazy. The dude was inside the dick touching it, and then came out. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude was in the vagina, and then was like, that shit all over fucking. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like I'm just saying, like every episode had some nasty, crazy shit going on, bro, that had us even more like, no, what the fuck was that? So you know what I mean? Like, we never know.
just completely did the opposite of my point that I made. She was like, hey, corporations, give me all of it. I want So I guess what I said doesn't make any difference.
I'm James Franco right now. At the end of the end of the scene, all in the face.
Oh shit, I was going that way, but by all means.
All right. Let me stop all this right now. Let me go ahead and cut
You guys,
the Gen Z
it's
talk
off the,
right
you
now.
guys seen the interview, right? You know, off that movie, The Interview, when he's like, we want the all out, all in your face. Yes.
Yeah.
He's like,
With
Seth Rogen's like, what kind of porn have you been watching, dog? Like, what the fuck? Yeah.
I love it. Look, we interrupt this portion of your of the show to bring you some heavily important news here from the New Blurred Order, of which I can only ask one of our panelists who's qualified to answer, Stephanie. All right, Stephanie, I have a very, very, very pressing issue to discuss with you, and I need you to give me your honest opinion, 100%. What is it that we as the Black community is going to do as a people when we have I can't even seriously approach this show. When we have members of our community that are so talented that don't get enough, I'd say, respect for the things that they do off camera, off screen. You know, we are philanthropists, we're community people. You know, we do a lot of stuff, not just on screen, but off. And I need to know, why isn't this front page news? Because this right here was headline central. Please tell me what your thoughts on Winston Duke and him and his thighs. Once
You know,
thighs.
there's been a lot of controversy in the news
Just so you can see that
lately.
it's not pre-crushed.
What is that?
Let's try.
That's a melon.
Well, I don't want to speak over it.
Wrapping it in a towel, because just in case I can't crush it and I still want to eat it.
Oh my god.
That's gonna be terrible. Oh, it cracked.
I can hear it.
You heard it, didn't you?
Oh gosh. You can definitely do the papaya.
Yeah. Well, anyway, obviously breaking news. Please respond.
There have been a lot of big questions in the news lately. What's happening with Russia? Will student loan repayment proceed in the way that we hope? But the most pressing question on my mind has been, could Winston Duke crush a watermelon between his thighs? Feels really good to know that, as I suspected, the answer is yes. The answer is yes.
Oh, wow. Good grief. So what does this mean now for the Black community and those with or without thighs? How do we move forward as a people? How is this?
You know, I see it as a sign of hope, plan for how we move forward, a new direction. Just a reminder that anything is possible, you know, that you may sit at home and dream. I wish I could have the answer to what would happen to a watermelon between Winston Duke's thighs. And in this day and age of technology, I just feel like anything is possible. All of your dreams can come true.
All right, for sure. Tyrone, when's the last time you crushed a watermelon with your thighs?
I don't have Winston Duke thighs. I stick with like grapes. I don't want to I don't want to overshoot it. You know what I mean? So I know who I am.
I'm done.
So, yeah. Give me a grape, maybe a plum. I feel like on a good day, give me a plum, and it's over.
Well, we now know why he was never made king. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that he cracked it in this whole thing, but it is what it is, man. Yeah, thanks for your input. Speaking of Winston Duke and things that are happening with Black culture, it's been brought to our attention that there's a new release as of a few weeks ago of a show called Wednesday, which of course is based on the character Wednesday from the original Addams Family, which some of y'all may not realize was used to be in black and white. There have been some complaints. First of all, real quick, we haven't even talked about this. Does anybody watch? Did anybody watch Wednesday? Has anybody watched it? I watched the first episode.
I was boycotting.
Boycott. Okay, we got a boycotter. All right, cool. So I'm just curious, before we get into why the boycott's happening, which I believe there's some valid. I mean, I watched it and tried to be, I watched just the first episode, so I didn't watch the whole thing, and I tried to be objective. But before we get into the legitimate criticism, so far, what's your feelings of the show, Yaz and Ty, that since you've seen it? Well, Yaz first.
I mean, I like this show. I thought it was like a different twist. I personally, for me, I've always liked the Addams Family, like since I was a kid. I've watched all of the movies hundreds of times. So getting a revamp, you know what I'm saying, live action, I thought that was kind of cool. And I liked how they threw in Nicole Richie in there, and she spoiler alert, was the bad guy or lady. So I thought that was kind of cool. But I mean, I watched this when it first came out, so I didn't even know about like this controversy until you guys like told me about it, because I been watched this when it first came out. That's when I saw it. So I mean, but all in all, I didn't think it was like that bad, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm definitely interested to hear more on this subject though.
Yeah. Ty, what about you, bro?
I'm up to I think episode 5, and I don't necessarily see where the. I mean, I know about the comments that Tim Burton had, but from what I see, the young black girl, she has a significant role on the show,
right?
And in any scenes that she's been in. Like there was a scene in the very beginning where Wednesday called herself challenging her to a fencing match,
right?
And she was like, "Nah, take off the gear and we'll do it with no things on points on the spear. I mean, not the spear, but the fence, the swords. So she wanted to go first blood, like we're gonna do whoever draws blood first. And Wednesday was pretty good, but the girl was better and wound up drawing blood first. And then as you go through the storyline, this girl is not like just a pushover. Like she has a dude that she likes. Excuse me. She has a dude that she likes, but she doesn't let him walk over her. Like so I just think her portrayal as just the bad girl or just whatever, I just think she's like the most popular girl type girl, and it's people coming for her neck. Wednesday is really the bad person in this show, so I don't really know. I don't know.
All right. Well, Steph, why don't you go ahead and tell us why you're boycotting and what your feelings are about this? And I got something to say about this too, honestly.
So I have an issue with the one black main character being the villain. That is a tired, overused trope. But also Tim Burton's ass is just racist. He's just racist. Like Nolly had posted an article in the New Blurred Order, I should know how to say the name, Facebook group, where there was a Tim Burton quote, and he basically was just like, yeah, I don't believe in like forcing diversity. I remember in the Brady Bunch when they would have an episode that was like, oh, we got to have the Asians now, we got to have the blacks. And I just thought that was weird. Like, why do people have to do that? First of all, anyone who refers to black people as blacks, you're racist. You've revealed yourself. That's but maybe we can find the quote because I'm paraphrasing. But it was just very, very racist, and the words came out of his mouth. This is not an interpretation.
Yeah.
What's the quote, Nolly?
So the quote is, I remember back when I was a child watching the Brady Bunch, they started to get politically correct. Like, okay, let's have an Asian and a black. I used to get more offended by than that just because I grew up watching blaxploitation movies, right? And I said, that's great. I didn't go, okay, there should be more white people in these movies. That was his whole quote. And then he also, when he was asked why his films have mostly white people, he said, some things call for certain things and some things don't. It doesn't fit the aesthetic.
Yeah.
Tim Burton thinks he's too smart to be racist, but he's wrong.
Right.
That's what that comes down to.
And this is I'm gonna keep it real for y'all. This is hard for me because Tim Burton has honestly made some of my favorite movies. Like literally, the first two Batmans I still herald as the best Batmans outside of the Christopher Nolan series. I love that movie Big Fish with Obi-Wan. I'll call him Obi-Wan right now. I even liked some of the Nightmare on Christmas stuff. And frankly, I love Edward Scissorhands, one of my favorite movies of all time, honestly. I'm just going to keep it 100. So to hear that somebody that I like really enjoyed their content but what I'm hearing is racial insensitivity, which is just in the same thing as racism in itself, with somebody who is in a position of power to make changes to those things. And when you speak to him about it, I almost would be willing to give, I don't want to say a pass, but to not be as upset about it if he had any remorse or if he had any willingness to grow in it. And I mean, I know he'll say, well, I put the black girl in the show, and so now, it shows that I'm not blah, 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 blah. But yeah, you kind of made her into, a villainous creature. But it is what it is.
She's not a villain, though. You guys didn't finish watching it. She's not the villain.
Yeah, that's I was trying to figure out too, where that came from.
You guys didn't finish watching, so basically they have it.
Before you say, don't spoil it.
Are you gonna finish watching it though?
I'm definitely gonna spend it. I'm gonna finish watching.
Okay.
It. So
I got like 3 episodes left.
Speaking of speculation, and also I will say this: I'm not trying to defend Tim Burton, but Wednesday itself does have a dark. There's a dark, like, mood about the show that kind of makes almost everybody, except for a select few characters, assholes. Wednesday included. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not trying to
persona though.
I'm not trying to.
She's
I'm not
an
trying,
asshole.
yeah, definitely, and we love that about her, right? But I think what Tim Burton's problem is that he walked into this. He's been dealing with this before. Like, this has been a charge that has been launched against him. This isn't the first time. Like, this is just coming up because this is one of his most recent projects. And also I'm hearing that he wasn't even hands-on with this project and all that other stuff. But this is an issue that he hasn't spoken to in a manner that seeks the approval or the dollar of the Black community, of which we have one of the top. I mean, just as a people, we're $1.3 trillion of GDP. We match the income of small countries without even having to leave the United States. So it's an interesting thing when they're like, hey, look, bro, we're just not going to, adhere to what the people of color in the community are saying is something that I should address. Now, let's also speak to the fact that there is a culture that loves what Tim Burton says, that feels like, yes, that's right, Tim. Stop with this forced diversity stuff. Stop this, what they call diversity casting. We're glad that you're standing up to the woke culture that's trying to force you to put people that look like not the people that you had in your mind on your screen. He's speaking to a group of people that are like, hell yeah, bro, stand up for yourself. And I think that that's at odds with where we are, I guess, right now as a culture. And I think that's one of the reasons why Stephanie's like, look, I'm bowing out of this project completely. Now, Tyrone, you're a sensible guy, and you've been able to talk us into talk some sense into us. What's going on? What do you think about all this stuff, man? What are your thoughts?
I feel like Tim Burton has demonstrated several times that he's he may not know he's racist, but I feel like he's racist. I think this is one of those situations where just because you don't actively and consciously hate something, that doesn't mean that you are just because you don't actively and consciously hate Black folks doesn't mean you're not doing racist things. We can look through Tim Burton's movies and be like, okay, there is a glaring absence of color of a particular person in Tim Burton's movies. We know that to be the case. Wednesday, different situation, but also like I mean, the first episode I was like, come on, Tim Burton. When one of the Pilgrim bullies was a black kid, and he said, "My dad owns Pilgrim Land." I was like, no, the fuck, your dad does not own no Pilgrim Land. Like, come on, this is, to me, that situation read like Tim Burton wrote everything and started doing casting, and he was like, oh shit, that's right. If I don't put black people in here, they're gonna be mad at me. Let me go ahead and just throw some here. You know what I mean? Like, that's what that looks like to me, especially in a scene like that. So I'm like, I've never been somebody who is like, oh, I'm a big Tim Burton fan. So, I don't want to, I want to be clear with that. But I never forgave him for his Charlie and the Chocolate Factory movie. That was a big L. So, just that. So, but this is, I mean, when you hear people talk like that, the way he did in that quote, that's all you need to know. You know what I mean? When they're, it got too politically correct and blah, blah, blah. I'm not, that shit. That's that, like, that is to me, that's the media version of I'm not racist, but.
Right.
Which is always followed by something racist.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you this. Oh, go ahead. Yes.
Even if you look at his work, his first movie was in 1985. He didn't cast a black actor until he cast Samuel L. Jackson in 2016.
Wow.
That's a whole lot of movies in between, sir.
Yeah. It like I said, man, this was particularly hard for me because it's one of those times where you're like, here's somebody that I've admired their work, and now I have to learn that they are inherently biased. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I think that's I mean, because when you're given these when folks approach you with this, what one would hope is that there's introspective, right? And that you sit and say, you know what? I haven't had any blacks in any lead roles. I haven't. And says, you know what? You guys have brought something to my attention. Let me look into this and let me work on it. But instead, what we get is like a rebellious, like a guy who's basically like, yo, fuck all that. I don't got to do that shit, and I've been just fine. And that kind of it's unsettling for us as a community. So I'll ask this before we move on, Stephanie. Do you think that there's, or what could be done, if anything, to redeem Tim Burton, in your opinion, if it's possible? Is there anything that he could do, any project that he could put forward, anything that he could say, any statement he could put out that would make you say, all right, I think he's seeing the light. I might go check out one of your movies or watch one of your shows? Or is he at this point, basically,
Absolutely not. He is irredeemable and pretty unapologetic about it. Like, he might as well just come up and be like, listen, I only cast white people because that's who I want to work with and that's who I want to see. So fuck y'all, kiss my ass. Like, that is what he's basically said in not so many words. And I'm gonna take him at his, at his statement. All right, fuck you, Tim Burton. I won't be supporting your shit. It's not what I'm into. And he's gonna keep casting white folks, and I'm sure, people will keep supporting his projects because some people don't have a problem with that. But I won't be one of them.
And this also, there's a hint of this that, go ahead, Tyrone.
Oh, no, I just wanted to give a real quick, a free piece of advice for anybody who's, not black, or if anybody who's white and listening. If somebody accuses you of doing something or saying something racist, you didn't just catch a stray. Like, you probably did something or said something. So just take a moment to learn, to be like, oh shit, my bad. That's not me. Let me find out how I can do better. That's all it takes. Like, literally, like, that's all you have to do to not be in this conversation, is just be like, oh shit, let me find out how to do better. Boom. That's it.
And actually, to add to that, I think that's great advice. And also to add to that, I think that there was a hint of, hey, I'm making the Addams Family Latino, so I can't be racist type of, you know what I'm saying? I think that there's a vibe, even though, I mean, some could argue that that they've been Latino this whole time. I mean, I never really, I paid attention to the fact that he's Gomez. You know what I'm saying? And they kind of leaned into it. Catherine Zeta-Jones, Luis Guzman, legitimate Latin actresses. To go from being kind of lily white, from the past. Some would probably make him feel like he has progressed with this casting, even though we all knew that. Dang, I just forgot my man right here's name. Raul Julia, that he's of Latin descent anyway. And also, real quick, just
isn't Wednesday his Hispanic as well?
Yeah, Gomez. Yeah. So that's my point, though, Ty, is that he thinks in his head, y'all calling me racist, but I got a Gomez as my lead actor. Like, that didn't even make no sense.
The problem is that they're all fairly light-skinned Hispanics. Like, he's a little darker, but he's still on the lighter spectrum of Hispanics. And so it's like, Are you? Because, I love my Latino homies and stuff like that, but we have a huge problem with self-hate and idolizing the American dream, and we will swear we are white, up and down if you ask. So it's like, I mean, like, are you doing something by that? Like,
Right.
are you really?
So,
They're all light skinned. Like, come on. Come on.
so I'm like because I'm just hearing everybody's complaints about the Tim Burton, and so as a director, what could he have done that would have made everybody happy? Like, I mean, like, because the what I'm hearing is that he put in Hispanics in the role, but they're not dark enough. With uh Stephanie, you just feel like he's just racist. It doesn't matter what he at this point, whatever product he puts out, it doesn't matter what he would have did. He's racist. That's it. Period.
Yes, it's clear where his heart is at. You know.
Yeah, where's that quote at? That's that
right.
Yeah.
So as just like a viewer, just like somebody who just came in not understanding, not knowing any background of Tim Burton, and just me watching the show, that I'm just curious as to where a director can go right in a situation like this, where you're trying to make a movie about Wednesday, where she is in this very vicious role, and just kind of make everybody happy.
I think so. For me, okay, as a whole, I don't find anything wrong with Wednesday, right? I like the project. I unfortunately love a lot of Tim Burton projects. He should have just kept his mouth shut.
Yeah.
Like, there was no reason to be like, yeah, I'm not for diversity. I'm not going to cast Black people if I don't want to. They don't fit. Like, he could have just not said any of that, and I would have been like, hey, there's no Black people in this, but I still kind of like this project, whatever. He just really just shouldn't have said anything. And then people pointing out that my only complaint about like the Latino actors being all light skinned is because everyone was like, well, he's not racist. He casts Latinos.
Exactly.
But the problem is with casting Latinos is that it's usually always the light skinned Latinos that get casted. And it's, there's not a lot of like diversity. Like, what's her name? Gamora. She's, one of the rare darker skinned Latinos that gets casted in things. And so it's more so answering back to fans who are like, oh, he's not racist because, that's like saying I'm not racist. I have a Black friend. Like, it's the bare minimum. It's like showboating and stuff. It's still not enough. I just wish he hadn't have opened his mouth and said blatantly that he's super racist. I like Wednesday. I'm enjoying the show very much. I just, just don't say that there's no place for Black people in your sci-fi fantasy worlds. Like, just don't say that. You don't have to. There's not every thought needs to be aired out.
Also, just real quick, we talk about the importance of representation. What he's talking about is the opposite of the importance of representation. He's like, nah, that shit doesn't matter. Like, I don't need, you know what I mean? I don't want to just be putting people in my shit. So like, as much as we love to see representation, as much as we know that it is important, he's like, nah, fuck that. And if you wanted to come out and take that stance, then you gotta take the labels that come with it.
Yeah,
we're in a moment right now, Ty. I feel like where the vast majority, at least of the United States, is open to moving forward with a more unilaterally colorful casting type of framework. And here's a guy who's bucking that, and he's outwardly bucking it, and he's doing it with the backing of a lot of folks who basically are like, yes, you're right, we're tired of the bullshit. And so it's not as much what he could have done cinematically, but what he could have done off screen, what he could have said, and it's not, and I disagree with Nolly a little bit. I don't want him to just be quiet. Go ahead and speak your truth, but don't lie. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he really feels that in his heart, then say it. But when you reveal yourself, we believe you. What's up, Steph?
Yeah, I think that part of what annoys me is that he didn't have the good sense and grace to just give a better fucking answer. It is not that hard to just be like, you know what? You're absolutely right that Black stories matter. As someone who isn't a part of that community or very knowledgeable about it, I don't necessarily feel like I'm the voice to tell those stories. Boom, cool, and you're
He needed
fine.
a PR manager.
He really does. He's just out here on some Kanye shit, saying whatever. Like, granted, Kanye is way more worse, way more extreme. But you know, if we go back even to Kanye a couple years ago, just saying dumb shit that like you could have we know that your beliefs are trash, but you could have phrased things in a way that would have come across better. And even to be like, oh, I don't want to be politically correct. I get so annoyed when people use politically correct as a negative thing. Like, you mean like socially acceptable?
Polite?
Oh, congratulations, you're a rebel that's an asshole.
Treating people like people.
Right.
They're always like, I don't see color. But then say shit like this, like, I don't want to be politically correct. Sir, if you don't see color, what's the problem then?
Yeah, but then he was like, but he does see color because he sees the aesthetic, and he was like, I don't like that aesthetic. He said that shit himself. So like, sorry,
that's
bro.
why Black people fit my aesthetic.
And these aren't new quotes. This was from 2016. My man has not backed down or rebutted or nothing since then. So it's like, so we know he racist. We know what to expect. It's just, it gives the ick.
To kind of close that out, Ty, I think that what the complaints are isn't as much about just this Project Wednesday, if that helps answer the question. It's that this guy is peddling this nonsense in the public sphere, in the public spectrum, and he's using light-skinned Latinos as a kind of like as a prop to show that he's not necessarily what his words are saying that he is. You know what I'm saying? And so all we want for Tim Burton is to see the light, you know, in our melanin, you know, is to have a come to Jesus moment and be like, you know what, damn, you're right. I didn't even realize this whole time I was low-key racist. I was at first willing to give him a pass. I was like, yo, this dude, he sounds like one of them ignorant whites. Like, he don't even realize what racism is. But then I'm like, yo, you have enough resources to be able to galvanize this and listen to the people that are talking to you. These are like, it's not like we aren't people that are buying tickets to your movies. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm still sitting here like in shock. Like, fuck, man, I don't want to have to throw away my Batman, my 2 Batman DVDs, which are like the only 2 DVDs I still hold on to. But if a dude is sitting here basically saying, look, I don't care about there being equality in the casting force, I just want to put forth the people that I've envisioned and they just don't look like y'all, then that is something that is alarming. And I agree with many that colorism is a thing too. And big up to Zoe. Even though I was mad at her, I still had a little thing because she went on 106 in Park, was like, I'm not black, you know, I'm Dominican, you know what I'm saying? I was like, you know, you could be both, right? Like, you don't have to choose.
Like, bro, I don't understand. My father is Dominican, he's half Dominican, half Nigerian, and he is the darkest. He is like dark Winston Duke, dark times 3, and forever would be like, I know black and Dominican.
That's because white supremacy has made it really bad to be black, and that's 100%. What happens. Yep.
And then race and ethnicity be beating people up. It is 2022. Dictionaries are right there. There's a difference. You can be Hispanic and be black.
Literally. I mean, but you know what? That's not the only thing. You know that you can be like Middle Eastern and be black. You can be a whole bunch of other colors. Asian even have a dark skin hue. Indians have a caste system. And I don't mean Native Americans that they came over here and oops, I thought we was in India. So now y'all are going to be Indians until the rest of your time. I mean, like people in India, like there's a caste system, the Brahmins that some people are saying is based on your skin tone. So there's definitely an issue. And I just feel like Tim Burton, despite the smoke, despite all of the eerie music and the trees and all of the dark clouds he puts in all of his movies that I tend to love, is just being ignorant to a beckoning from a call from a community that is a great spender in the entertainment realm. So that's what his slight is today, bro. And so I don't know if that brings any more sense to it, Ty. But I get what you're saying, bro. Like I don't want to not like Tim Burton, but he's showing us who he is, bro. These statements are not taken out of context.
The only thing I have a problem with, and it's not even a problem, it's more of wrapping my hands around things when it comes to the art versus the artist, because there's been a lot of good works that we've seen that have been done by horrible people, and you know what I'm saying, like that part of it I get that Tim Burton is honest about how he feels about how whatever it is he feels about. I actually respect more people like that than the people that hide behind a whole bunch of other stuff. But um, when I saw this movie, just like I said, or this series, what I've been watching, without context to what it is in this conversation, I don't see that in this series. So that's why I'm like, that's the part where I'm like, do I not see us? Okay, yeah, the whole kid saying his pops owns Pilgrim Land. All right, that's funny, but it's not out the realm of possibility in real life. Like, that's why I'm like, so I mean, yeah, he could have said he owned 5 Walmarts or whatever. Like, he could have owned like whatever is local to that town, but they had a Pilgrim Land because it's in the middle of nowhere.
But I feel like if you knew a black person to talk to, they'd be like, maybe don't have the black kid dressed up as a pilgrim bullying folks and then being like, my dad owns Pilgrim Land. That's not going to play really well. That's kind of ridiculous. Like, I can buy werewolves and shit, but this black kid owning Pilgrim Land and his parents, you know what I mean? Like, if you had a black friend, they'd be like, I don't know about that one.
You just got to keep watching. Like, you have to keep watching and finish the series, and you'll understand why Bad Ty and I are like, you guys only watch like 1 to 3 episodes, and then you have a biased opinion about something you didn't finish. So just finish watching it, and then we can come back to this.
And this is all coming from a black man, by the way.
This is a good project.
Let me clarify. This is not a referendum on the show Wednesday. Okay, yeah. We're speaking about Tim Burton. Okay, and his history of works. So I think that like you and Ty have good points, and I'm gonna finish Wednesday. I'm telling you, I already started it, so they already got the stream. You know, they already got it. But it's not about just this one project. It's his history and him being completely ignorant, or at least refusing to, at the very least, bare minimum, address vocally, not in his projects, but vocally address his ability or willingness to hear out the people of color that are calling him out for not having any black people in any of his projects for the first 20 years of his career, and then not having any lead roles. Now, this girl she's a supporting actress. She's not the lead. She's a supporting actress. Wednesday is the lead, and the Addams Family is. And so that's what's being called into question. Not just is Wednesday a racist project, which I know some people are saying that's what it is, but this comes on the bow of all of the other things that he's said and done and hasn't done.
Gotcha.
I get what you're saying. I'm just saying this conversation is kind of like going back to alluding about like the whole Walt Disney being racist, and you know what I'm saying, like, you know, a lot of his projects in the beginning, why it didn't have a lot of, you know what I'm saying, colorism, you know, like there was no colored people inside of it. So you gotta just like it is a very good topic, but you have to also remember like the time era that they started making that shit in, it was not really like allowed.
But also there were non-racist people. Yeah, there were non-racist people that existed in an era during racism. So like I don't 100%. Like to do I don't like to give excuses for being racist in a time where it was generally 100%. More accepted. I mean, we all know Walt Disney was a famous anti-Semite. And you know, there is Disney has a very questionable history when it comes to racism and stuff. Now, what do we have now? We have a company that is very actively trying to correct the mistakes of the past where they can. When they're doing new stuff, they are trying to be more socially conscious about it and stuff. That's what it's the effort. It's when somebody says, "Hey, look, your history is showing us one thing." The things that you say, they're kind of like, weird. What is it like? How are you going to move forward? Tim Burton says, I'll move forward however the fuck I want to move forward. It's like, all right, well, you're going to lose a bunch of us. Like that's,
this might be his turnaround point though. You know what I'm saying? For him to like, maybe like open up, you know what I'm saying? And like, you know, be kind of like Walt Disney did. So we don't know where this is going to go. You know what I'm saying? From here, that now we know the real, you know, face of Tim Burton and how, you know, he sees himself as like, you know, does his art and stuff like that. So I mean, I definitely think that, you know, with now us knowing that, you know, he's not really big on, you know, putting colored people into his movies and, you know, his shows and stuff like that, that's definitely going to lose a lot of, you know, his views and people who are, you know, watch his stuff. So ultimately that will affect his craft, you know, and maybe he might change up. I'm just saying I'm always here and willing to like let somebody make amends for their mistakes. So I'm not going to cut him off just yet. I'm willing to see if he's going to make amends or not, and I'll give him a little bit of time to see if he's going to redeem himself or not. So that's all I'm saying.
We'll see. Quickly, Ty, because we got 2 more things to talk
quickly. I'm not defending Tim Burton at all. Fuck him.
Hey, but I'm just saying.
But no, I'm just saying. This me here right here. I'm saying I don't care nothing about Tim Burton. I was saying that the series Wednesday on Netflix is not a bad series. That's what I was saying.
Okay.
So just make that clear.
I agree. I haven't seen the whole thing, and
me about to be sober as hell.
I agree. Well, I can't agree because I haven't seen it, but I'm willing to give the show a chance. But I'm still harboring my prejudice against Tim Burton, and we'll have to see what in the upcoming years if he decides to make some changes to his mentality. If we're going to be willing to support more of his projects or not. But as of right now, he's starting with a net negative. So let's see if that improves. But I will say this much, at least from the Wednesday show, we do have some Marvel news. Evidently, the director of the Wednesday show is going to be pegged, has been brought into the fold to direct the Agatha show that we have coming up, the Agatha All Along show. So that's something that we got to look forward to. And the director isn't Tim Burton. Tim Burton didn't direct this. So
he directed a few episodes.
Yeah. Well, thank you for clarification, but the overall director. Anyway, so yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Now, real quick, we don't have too much time left, so I definitely wanted to get these things out there, man. We really wanted to talk about some of the things that were revealed. I know we already discussed the fact that Kratos was a big winner at the Gamer Awards, and that Chris Judge was able to win his award for best performer. But there were also some video games, man, that came out. Now, we're gamers, all right, but the overwhelming majority of us, I know Steph spends the overwhelming majority of her time when she's not working playing video games. That part. But one game, there's some news that came out for a game that I know Tyrone and I have been anticipating for quite a while, and I'm happy to introduce to y'all. We're going to go ahead and show this trailer for what was released at the Gamers Awards on this Thursday for the project they are calling Jedi Survivor. I know you're excited about this, Tyrone. Let's get into this on the other side of this trailer. Let's go ahead and talk. Give me just a second and we'll set this up. All right, here we go. Let's ride it out.
The order is gone. I was betrayed by the one I trusted most. I will not be imprisoned again.
I hear you've been busy making yourself the Empire's most wanted.
Jedi. Remind our friend here why his kind are supposed to be dead.
Here we go. After all we've done, the Empire's only grown stronger. Thanks, Bud. Part of the job, Gustus.
The Jedi is a threat.
Well, now that we have this, as long as we fight. Survives.
Oh my god, I have to get this game.
Absolutely pre-ordering.
Yeah. 100%.
So some of us were like foaming at like oozing from the mouth, just sitting there watching the gameplay. And I want to shout out, I don't know if that was the right terminology. Sorry, but whatever.
Oozing at the mouth.
Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Eric Boss, and this is a breakdown of the
What
trailer.
the hell are you talking about? My bad. Little carryover there. Yeah, man. I love when they show gameplay. Sorry, I disregard that message, Steph. You was but yeah, I love the fact that commercials that show gameplay rather than just the cinematic scenes in a video game, which can be very misleading. Nolly, Tyrone, probably the two that game the most out of all of us. Nolly, you first. What's your feelings about this project? Just what did you think?
So I was watching the Game Awards on stream with my friends and my boyfriend, and immediately we were all like, we're pre-ordering, we're getting it, period. I was like, I'm so glad we're moving in together because you got a PS5 and I'm not trying to put it on PS4. Okay. So I was like, we moving on up. I'm ready. I ordered my own controller. I'm in here. Okay. I'm ready. I've been waiting. As soon as it came out, I was like, yes, this is what I needed in my life. This was the announcement I was waiting for. I was waiting for 3 games to be announced, and this was number 1, and I'm so fucking hype.
Nice. What about you, Tyrone?
Yeah, no, I can't wait. I'm actually gonna have to start playing Jedi Fallen Order again just to get back in that groove because that game is so damn good. If you haven't played that game, Jedi Fallen Order is
amazing.
One of my all-time favorite Star Wars games. Like it's absolutely great. It's the customization, the feel of using the Force and the lightsabers, building your own lightsabers, attaching 2 of them, detaching them, using them as 2, whatever. You could do whatever the hell in this game. It's a beautiful game. The story is fantastic. One of the best Star Wars stories out there, and the voice acting, all the performances are incredible. Just overall, one of my favorite Star Wars experiences. Period. That's outside of not just games, but cartoon movies, whatever the hell else. It's just one of the better Star Wars experiences that you could have.
Yeah,
can't wait for this game.
Well, the only thing I think that the only complaint I had about the game is I thought it was a little short. All right, I felt like it could have been a little longer. But other than that, yeah, the gameplay is second to none. To be able to have the Force in your hand, and I mean, I thought that it was going to have a hard time beating the Force Unleashed, which was before this my favorite Star Wars game.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it looks like it's pretty promising, man. I ain't gonna lie, and I'm looking forward to seeing when it comes to the screen and us playing that on Twitch and on our YouTube page as we will, even if we're playing singly. There was another game that came out. Nolly put us up on this, and I ain't gonna lie, I wasn't even looking forward to this game. And after we talked about one of the upcoming movies of this franchise last week, I kind of was like, how can you really make a game, out of the Transformers?
Okay,
but
like,
they met. Go ahead.
I was like, when the trailer started, I was like, what is this? This looks cool. I love this dystopian shit. And I was like, damn, that world is really people really got a will to live, huh? That's crazy. Can't relate. I was like, what is this? What's going on? I love me some mechs and shit. And then when it said Transformers, I said, I know you fucking lying. What? I said, be fucking for real. This what we doing? Okay, I'm ready. It's also on my pre-order list.
Let's show y'all what it is that Nolly's talking about here. This trailer is got a lot going on, man. So without further ado, the upcoming Transformers release teaser. Let's check it out, y'all.
This ain't working. We should melt it down for ammo.
And we're live.
Come on, big guy.
Sequencing at 17%. Loading memory core now.
It's all the same. Only the names will change. And every day it seems we're wasting away. Another place where the faces are so cold. I drive all night just to get back home.
All right. Let's get lucky.
I'm a cowboy on a steel horse I ride. I'm wanted, dead or alive.
And there you have it. Nolly, you excited?
Yeah.
She's speechless.
Yeah, I'm buying it. I am absolutely buying it.
Okay, yeah, I think I will too. I mean, it was a dope trailer. We don't got to sit and discuss it. But I again, I just want to bring to the attention that this was a cinematic trailer and not a gameplay trailer. and you always got to be careful. They did this to us with the Star Wars Eclipse. You know, they still haven't released any gameplay, and the game ain't coming out till like 2040. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be careful, man.
Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah,
had us all hyped as fuck. Then we got the game, and I was like, "Why is this so broken?" Y'all had like 8 years.
Those are movie pitches. Those are movie pitches. That's what those are.
Yeah. Plus, there's a couple Transformers games that have existed. There was one not too long ago that was sort of like an open world third person Transformers game, and it was it's can't wait to see some gameplay for that. But for now, cautiously optimistic.
Cautiously, yeah, because Transformers games ain't easy. Now, last thing we got, we're running out of time here on our 100th show. Thank you all, and if you haven't already, please make sure all of y'all follow our other sites, share, and just so you can keep up with some of the memes that Yaz posts, some of the news, Nolly posts, some of the updates that we get from Steph, and all of us in our contributions. Share and make sure you look us up on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Christian Mingle, Truth Social, all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? But I just want to kind of close out with this. It has been brought to our attention, and by the way, we are watching Willow. I watched Willow a couple of shows. We may talk about that again. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you all for the comments, and shout out to the comment section that brought us to this point. Y'all have been with us, especially our day ones like Lisa, Daniel, Manny. Some of our folks have been there since it was just me, Yaz, and Ty. Like, yo, y'all have watched us grow and I just do other things. So real quick, let us get this out the way because I have to bring this up, man. There is a new pitch for a Black Panther project, and it's not coming from the studios. It's coming from the fans, and it is for the story of Bashinga, the very first Black Panther to be put somehow in cinematic form. There's a lot of fan art that's going out there right now that has really got the folks excited for the potential for this project. And this could be that missing link that makes it so that the Black Panthers franchise does not have to depend solely on the characters that we already have in the Black Panther universe currently. I mean, this would kind of reset things a little bit. And I think that this is a good idea. Ty, I see you nodding your head, bro. What do you think about the potential for this project?
Oh my God. What do I think? All you got to do is look at what Wakanda Forever is steadily doing. It's making more and more money. Guess what? They don't have to go to their financiers and ask them if we're doing well. So nah, I'm super excited. I saw this. I see the buzz around this. Give it to me and give me more and more. And I'll always say that anytime we can go back into Wakanda and we can see the beautiful landscapes and all of the relationships, let's go. I'm there.
Steph, man, this could be more Black Panther content. You here for it?
Do I breathe oxygen?
All right. I'm really eager to see how they make this world. The question is if this comes to fruition. I mean, right now this looks official. These are not actual official images from any projects. These are fan arts, and I'm just wondering if we can get Disney to take heed to the beckons for this, or Marvel for that matter. I don't have any faith in them as of this moment because they've already got projects out in the works. They got Wakanda, the show coming out supposedly, and they got, they just introduced a new T'Challa. So I'm cautiously optimistic, but I would say that if they were to heed this type of project, that this would be nothing but good for the Wakanda universe. Tyrone, I can't see anything. And what's up, Steph?
I'm mad that Disney World has a whole stupid ass Avatar universe and we still don't have an Avengers campus. What the fuck?
Okay, I'm saying like
I'm hurt.
I'm gonna keep it real. I don't know if I want Disney to control a Wakanda universe. I don't know if I want that.
I'm just trying to eat jollof rice at Disney World. That's it. I'm not asking for much. Just give me food and a little gift shop. It don't got to be crazy.
Yeah. Okay, all right. I'll take a little of that foo-foo. You know what I'm saying? Throw
just
it
a little bit
we'll make it happen.
while I'm waiting.
Nobody asked for an Avatar universe. Nobody but James Cameron.
That's true. Oops. Oh, well, we didn't talk about emancipation, and we won't.
Just know, Chris Rock, Will didn't slap you. Peter did.
It was so you think it was his character? He was
It was
acting the
Peter.
character. Okay.
Peter slapped
It was
Chris
Peter.
Rock. You heard it here on the New Blurred Order. It was not Will Smith.
Okay, well, good. I pity the fool that's messing with Peter. All right, man. Listen, guys. I just want to take a couple moments before we wrap up, and just thank y'all for joining us on this journey. I'm speaking to Ty, Tyrone, Steph, Yaz, and Nolly. Just for kind of like agreeing to give up some of your sleep on Saturday or your video game time or whatever it was, and just to help us galvanize this support for what was a vision I think we've all kind of had, and that's just to be able to discuss this stuff and not feel weird about it amongst people that look like us. And I feel like we're being successful in that endeavor, and I just want to thank y'all for giving up some of your family time, your personal time. Because spoiler alert, guys, this is not a paying position. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're all volunteering our time just because we love this shit. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to thank y'all for joining us on this journey. And for y'all out there in the blurred sphere that are watching this from your screens, thank you as well, man. I mean, we don't know where this is going. And dang, I probably should have washed this shirt. So let me take it. Y'all probably, y'all are joining us on this journey too. So thank y'all so much, and we'll see you on the flip side. Be your authentic self always. If you're not, you're being fake. And as always, like I said, if you're a geek, go ahead, let that geek flag fly. Don't go nowhere.
I love the new Blurred Order. You should too.
Let me get all this 10p Wayne. All the niggas rapping about the same old thing. I've been coming through with the same old game.